Yes, ma'am. So first we will introduce ourselves. I am Nikita. I am a student from ITM college. We are associated with DORAI for the 15 days NGO internship. So we are interviewing trans achievers people for like social awareness and the social cause. Now Ria will introduce herself. Yeah.
So good afternoon, ma'am. My name is
Hi.
Ria Dubey, and I'm a student of ITM college. And currently, I'm also pursuing my PGDM from that college in marketing stream. And for the next 15 days, I'm associated with DORAI Foundation to interview 15 different transgenders and to know about their lives and hardships. So thank you, and thank you so much for taking out time for this interview, ma'am. It means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for interview. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So ma'am, can we start with the interview?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, as you know a lot about yourself, but we would like to know something more. So, can you just brief us a little bit about yourself or your journey?
Yeah. Myself, I'm Olga. I'm a trans woman. I don't generally mention as transgender in general because it's a common word. I'm a trans
Yes.
woman, and
Yes.
and also I have very particularly about I don't mingle with LGBT either. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, the other. But that is a political term started in 1990s towards health. But LGBT, I don't say that they don't have any issues. They have issues, but our issues are completely different from theirs. Ours is very basic. From the very beginning, we are having issues, and so I'm focusing on trans women especially because in our country, life of women is visibly and truly it's in a very bad condition. Last 10 years, it's a lot of initiatives been taken to uplift their life, but in our country, because we have a lot of other approaches like religious approach, social approach, mythological approach, so all that is distracting from the real mainstreaming or empowering trans women. But I strongly believe in human rights perception, human rights approach, because that gives the equal opportunity, equal rights like anybody else. So I'm concentrating on that, and I more concentrate on family inclusion because trans women are the daughters of this nation. They should be able to live with their own parents, biological parents, siblings. I don't believe in calling ourselves a separate community. We are very much part of this society. On that note, last 25 years, my journey is on empowering people. To be the change, you have to be the change. So I am being the change. I live with my family with a lot of hardships, but I'm able to my family. I am living with my family, with my parents. Now it's no more. I live with my brother's family, and I from for last 25 to 30 years, I'm working with mainstream community because I am a trans woman activist. I also concerned about rights of trans women and uplifting trans women, but I don't work with trans women. I work with the people who deny our rights, judiciaries,
Okay.
academicians, bureaucrats, policymakers. So I work for trans women because I'm a trans woman, but I work with the people who deny rights to include them in all kind of rights
Right.
aspects.
Okay, ma'am.
So that is my thing. Yes.
Yeah, delighted to hear that.
So you can.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, ma'am, my next question
And
is,
in our
yeah.
country, yeah. Okay. Carry on.
No, no,
Yes.
no, ma'am. You can like carry
Yeah.
on.
In our
You can.
country, we have this religious approach is very strong here. That is either way. It is. it is positive and negative as well. Excuse me. Because they call the hijra community, they call it is not a community, it is a survival mechanism they developed, clapping hands, going house to house, giving blessing to people. I always have a question in my mind when they bless others. Somebody, when they
Mm.
receive even Padma Shri award, they blessed our president of our country. If they can
Yeah, yeah,
bless the president of our country, why can't they bless themselves?
exactly.
They can
Yeah.
be in a better point of view. Like, it is all belief based, it is all faith based. So people believe because everybody like to be hero, hearing good words from people. So when they see you, Allah, Bhagavan, God, Jesus, so you see here. But that cannot be my work, that cannot be my livelihood. But in our country, that is what, they claim it like I'm going house to house. Will go to the house where the child is born. We'll go to the house where the marriage is happening. I will take money. That's literally begging. That has no dignity at all. We can say, and all people also out of fear, they will give money, but we cannot consider that as a livelihood or lifestyle of a people. It means that there should be an employment opportunity for everyone. Let all the women and men also go house to house and seek money. Why only me? I would like to earn with my own hardships, even a single pie. I would like to earn. I would like to, use my skill, earn money. That has the,
Yes.
dignity. That is what life with dignity all about. I wouldn't call it that's a skill or that's a belief based. People can believe in a country like giving dan is a major thing. But dan
Yes.
one can give to help others. Then the person who being helped also should be able to help himself or help others. So it's like
Yes.
that doesn't really, when we look at from the human rights perception, it doesn't work. So I don't call myself a separate community. I have the power and all that. I'm a very normal human being like Ria and Nikita. No, like I would like to have my
Mm.
education. I would like to work like others, and I would like to live like others. Clapping hands, having loud makeup, roaming around the street. Real have a skill, I would say I'm not, nowadays they started showing all that. I'm not very happy about that. But anyway, I'm working from my side. Basically the family should accept, they should have the inclusive education. Inclusive education is only possible when you're with your parents, because you will be able
Yes.
to peacefully go to school and study when you were young. Then you can go for higher studies, become a complete transhuman. You should be able to access higher education, skill building, and job opportunities like anybody else. Then live a normal life. That is what it should be all about. I don't like to be considered as a separate thing. But anyway, our Supreme Court is given third gender verdict. That is,
Yes.
yeah, the way, I don't know. I always have the question, who's the first and second gender? But
True.
still, anyway, the court has given, so we should respect that. And also in 2019, we have this Transgender People Protection Act. That also that doesn't talk about begging or prostitution. That talks about property and opportunities. That that act, because it gives complete human rights perception, human rights approach towards uplifting transgender people. So that is how my approach is. I live like any other women. It may not be possible for every trans woman, because not everybody look like a woman, but they should be also allowed to live the way they
Yes.
want, the way they want with dignity, not the way
Yes.
like it has been projected in our country. No, I'm not a beggar, I'm not a prostitute. I'm a woman like anybody else. So I should be able
Yes.
to access education, access higher education. I should be able to access a skill like anybody else, higher education. Then I should be able to get a job. So from that point of view, I'm working so far. But at present, I'm concentrating on counseling these parents who are not able to accept these children. Because below 18, we are talking about all these transgender people who are roaming around on the street, who's doing that cultural life and all that. But there's a huge major gap below 18 is happening. But till once I started when I'm born as a boy in this world, but I'm a woman. I'm inside. I'm a girl. When we show the sign of girls in our behavior when we were 8, 9, from the early adolescent age, we started getting, lot of rights violations, such violence. But that's not at all spoken in our country. There is more than 70 to 80% school dropouts among the transgender community. When you see transgender people, about more than 70, 80% are school dropouts. They don't have education because of constant bullying, constant rejection from the family, neighborhood, and education institutions. And more than, according to me, 100% face any abuse. More than 80% face sexual abuse when they were below 18. But any abuse, emotional, physical, verbal, any kind of abuse, yeah, we are facing. That is not at all spoken in our country. That needs to be spoken. That needs to be mentioned, that needs to be addressed, so that the parents should be aware of to support this child. Parents are having a great fear about this child. Once now, in case a boy, little boy in a family, about 8 year or 9-year-old, behaving like a girl. So the parents are speculating with the transgender person whom they saw in train clapping hands or in the bazaar begging around. They always think that the child is going to end up like that. Thus, the parents should think that if they give a proper confident moral support and beta tum आगे बढ़ो, हम हैं आपके साथ. Like तुम बाद में, if you want to become a girl, you can become after 18, but still we are supporting you. Once if anybody tease you outside or in school, you please come and tell us, we'll take care of that. That kind of protective life we provide to these children, then they will be able to, they'll be the good decision makers, they'll be excel in their studies, they'll be able to, achieve in life. So till 18, they go through all kind of mess in life, parents, even honor killing is happening among these people, children, there's several children being killed. Recently, even a couple of months before, it happened in Tamil Nadu. So, the family needs to be sensitized. To sensitize the family, we have to have the child-friendly, we don't call them transgender children, we call them gender non-conform children. So these children need to be supported with policy. They should be, they should be considered as children with special needs. Because children with special needs, not only as we think, not only people with disability or children with disability, single parent children, divorced parent children, street children, all these children, children with dyslexia, children with disability, also children with gender non-conformity also should be brought into this category, so that when the child faces violence and violations outside the home or inside the house, they will be able to address it. Now these children are not at all notified anywhere. Only the visible transgender people are spoken about. The clapping hand, they need job, they need education. Like 8वीं में या 10वीं में ड्रॉप होने के बाद उनको rejoining करना बहुत मुश्किल है. They are coming out of the society, they are enjoying that free life, beer, biryani, getting up late, going to shops, collecting money, doing prostitution, that kind of life they get into. Then talking about mainstreaming, rejoining them with the education is going to be very difficult. That's what happening in our country for last 20 years. Because a lot of effort has been taken, but it's not working. We are constantly only on the people who are on the streets. We have to concentrate within the family, how they should be intact with the family, intact with the education, skill building. Then after 18, when they become transgender women, then they will be able to achieve as equal as anybody else. That with that, with that thought process, I'm moving front, and at present, I'm concentrating on counseling the parents. Like I always say that मेरी माँ मुझे accept किए हैं, मैं अभी पढ़ रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं इतना बड़ा तो नहीं हो, मेरे पास सोना पैसा नहीं है, लेकिन I'm leading a life with dignity. So your child also can lead a life with dignity. You don't have to go into the street clapping hands. They can live like anybody else. So you please accept your child. But I'm still finding it difficult because the policy is not there. So youngsters like Nikita, Ria, all the people can also give voice towards, including transgender children or children with this or gender non-conform children, or children with special needs and vulnerable children, so that the children's rights violations and violence can be addressed in Juvenile Justice Act, the law for the children. Then easily these children will be able to live with family, continue education, and become a good citizen of this country. So with that approach, I'm moving forward. I hope I'm not confusing you guys.
No, ma'am. I just loved your point that if we focus on giving equal opportunities and give employment to transgender people, then the situation of them begging and clapping will not come only. If they get equal opportunity, then we will be living in a situation where we don't see transgender as a beggar or someone which we always try to cut off from. I really like the point, ma'am. Totally agree.
Thank you, darling. But for that, we have to focus when they were children. Now we are talking about the elder.
Before
we
18.
have to talk within the family. That is what the policy-based changes and approach is necessary.
Truly, ma'am. Truly.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, that brings me to my next question: that what kind of hardships do trans people face at societal level? Like in
Yeah.
society, what are the discrimination or the hardships that trans people face?
Yes, because like see, the world is a patriarchal society. Being
Yes.
a male is dominant. Being male is superior in our country or all over the world, not only in our country.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, if a boy child is behaving like a girl, is a very down thing. People look down at
Mm.
it. So even women were treated like that. Women are treated still, we are treated like subordinates. Children, girl
Yes.
children are treated as second citizens. Like, but for that we
Mm.
are fighting. We are not only saying don't treat us as second citizen or subordinate. We are also saying we have the right. We have the
Mm.
policy. If we deny education, if we deny family life, if you try to harass us, then we will be able to put you behind the bar. That kind of approach is there. But when it comes to this particular group, we don't have anything like that. Now, of course, the 2019 Protection Act is slowly emerging. It has been declared, but it needs to be much spoken about. Lot of sensitization to be done. So like that, then only we will be able to achieve. But it will take time. According to me, as a social worker, according to me, any social change, it takes its own time.
Yes.
Because for women, from the fetus and to the grave, we having laws, policies, protection, guidelines, so many things, but still the violation is happening. So like, I'm not saying that's the right thing, but
No.
that
Yeah.
takes time in this, especially in the patriarchal society. They always try to push us down. They'll try to keep the scale always down. So
Yes.
the fighting spirit we have to have, and also the friendly policy and law is necessary. Only that will help to empower people, uplifting these people. Walking out, as I said earlier, walking out of the house after they come to the street, after they come to the signals, after they come to the train to collect money,
Mm.
or after they come to house to collect money, reuniting them to bring them back to the life dignity is going to be very,
Very
very
difficult.
difficult. It will not work at all, as according to me. It doesn't work. Very few, like we can count few, like the Tamil Nadu, couple of people got government jobs. All over India, even you can count, 10 or 15 people got the job. That's very difficult. That's it shouldn't be that way. Everybody should be able to access education and access jobs. That should be
Yes.
our thing. For that, from the beginning, we have to have. Let's see. Let's hope. And I have a high hope. I'm also trying in several things. Like trying to bring the policy first. Because in 2010, like in our country, every 10 years, the child rights policy is being, you know, being amended,
Dated. Yeah.
added. So in 2010, I was part of it. 2010, the children with dyslexic, like children who have learning disability, added as children with special needs. Like that, this policy are also, like considered, and we have to do a lot of advocacy, because not only trans people should try for it. All of you, like youngsters, they should be. You should be able to raise voice. These children should be added. We should give them, the policy. We have to include them in policy. Like that, if we do advocacy, only will be able to happen. But for me, I'm trying my level best. The outcome is, it depends. I'm not really, like, maybe I may not be available. Maybe I will not be existing in this world once the policies come. But the policy need to come. Change will definitely happen. So that is that kind of hope I'm having, because that is how I'm talking to you people also, youngsters. You
Yes.
should be able to, because you may be in future, you will be one of the bureaucrats, maybe one of the IAS officer, like, you'll be in the position of decision making. So you should be able to talk about it. Why these people are on the street? Don't they have any parents? What is the parents' role here? We are talking only about on the whole the society, But when other children are on the street, we blame the parents. When these people are on the street, we are talking only about the society. What happened to the parents? What are the barriers for the children? Parents keep them within the family. What are the barriers this family had the children to make them continue the education? All this need to be analyzed, and then only we'll be able to bring the holistic empowerment among these people.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, what kind of emotional stress does a transgender
Everybody
Like,
have emotions, ma. So when,
yeah.
see, the worst thing can happen in one person's life, in a human's life, is the rejection.
Yes.
When you said, we talk about boyfriends rejecting us, all that. Here the parents reject us, reject them. No, if your behavior is bad, no one is in our families like this. What is this new thing? Like, no, all this is, they don't talk to, they will not talk to this child, they will not support this child, they will not listen to this child. Then when the child is go to play, the children will not play with them. Oh, from the emotional trauma, starts from the very beginning. That is why the behavior who outside, who roaming around the street, no, on the street, who begging around, their behavior is very loud because of the emotional trauma they go through. There is no let out, so they'll show it on people. They'll show it anger. They'll clap hands. They'll extract money from people. They'll show anger. So all this their
Mm.
misbehavior because of that emotional trauma. We couldn't say like anybody, everybody has, but in this case it's little high, and it starts very early age in life, and it goes on. Then like in growing up issues are there. Then they fall in love. Then there's no proper partner available, and lot of, in different states, different kind of, and you don't get a good job. Then you'll have to be on the street, you'll have to clap hands, and you're not when you were when they were in school, they were not clapping hands. They are on the street, they push to the streets, and they're forced to do that. So there'll be lot of emotional traumas in different stages of their life. So on the whole, they say, okay, then we are a separate community, so hum paisa mangenge ab do. This is the way it is. So they'll bring it like on survival mechanism.
Yeah.
uh, so that's even this kind of behavior, survival mechanism, is because of the emotional issues, psychological trauma, emotional issues people go through, face to non-acceptance in the society, within the parents, in school, in colleges, in general public. Whole thing creates emotional trauma among this group of people, and there's no healing for them. See,
Yes.
if one particular girl goes through the love failure, for an example, if she falls in love with another man or a good man, or she gets married, that there will be a healing process is happening in that girl's life. But here it's not happening. Nowhere the acceptance is there. Finally, they end up as a separate community and leading as a separate lifestyle. So there is no healing process happening within this group. So the emotional trauma just exists, and it goes on till the end of their life. That's a difference between other emotional trauma and that's, including me. I have a lot of, you know, like, still I'm working with mainstream, but there's a lot of things, we're not able to achieve in life. I want to become an air hostess, then I want to become a nurse. All this didn't happen because at that time, at least now people can try because the law is there. Then it was not there also. So my emotional trauma is unhealed, it is going to be there till my death. I always feel, but I don't complain. I'll just, because I'm a social worker, so life has to move on. I'm seeing a lot of other people, worse position in life, they need help. So we can help others and, heal ourselves like that. I will not be healed, but, at least some kind of healing process I go
Yes. So, ma'am, but are like some of the misconceptions about transgender men and women?
through. What is the misconception? Can you mention some misconceptions? Yeah, they always say, they think that we are mad people. First of all, we
Mm.
are not. Initially, even WHO then given a declaration that it's not a psychological disorder, it's a status of natural status of people. So, like
Yes.
that, there are several other misconceptions are there. So, and also the health approach has created a lot of these people are, with high risk behavior and all that. We are like anybody else, whomsoever rejected, if they are pushed to the street, everybody will behave with risk. So the
Yes.
social rejection is the real matter. There are a lot of myths and misconceptions are there. That is
Mm.
everybody, like they always think that women have, they always say you are emotionally strong. Doesn't mean that we have to harass us, no? So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of misconceptions are there. Yes.
Uh, s-
That can be clarified only through access education, through access
yes.
good jobs, and on the whole, life with dignity. That will only help to bring down all these myths and misconceptions. Nowhere else. I don't believe in this, going on, creating sensitization among people, awareness. No, let me empower. Automatically, people will start thinking different about me.
Yes. Ma'am, can you throw some lights on your recognitions and awards and like what inspires or motivates you to like move on?
There is no motivation. My parents, my family is my major motivation. Otherwise, awards, I have lot in my, that and all. I don't, just for the sake of, what is the point of awarding? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
let us live a very normal life. For me, मेरी सब्जी वाली, मेरी घर में बेचने वाले, ये सब एक ही है. उनको कोई अवार्ड नहीं देते ना. उनका भी परिवार है, बच्चे हैं, वो भी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, बहुत काम करते हैं वो लोग भी. उनका रिकॉग्निशन नहीं है. ऐसे ही ना, सभी के लिए तो रिकॉग्निशन नहीं मिलती है ना. तो I
Yes,
don't, but it's very good rewarding others, encouraging people. But for me, from the very young age, my mother was one of my major, motivating factor. That still pushed me to think. That is why I always say, instead of giving me an award, make my mother accept me, make my school accept me, make my college accept me, make my workplace accept me. That is the best reward for us.
yes, ma'am.
So otherwise, I still travel in public like any other women. Even after this, I'm going to travel to my workplace.
Yeah.
I still travel. I make sure that I travel with other women. I live with other people. I go in a public bus. Very normal life I want to lead. And that I'm making very sure. Very rarely I take private cabs or autos. Like no, otherwise I travel in public because I want to feel that I'm like anybody else. That
Yeah.
is the motivation factor. Motivation factor is the family inclusion in my life. That is the very important factor I always want to talk about. And Nikita and Ria and kind of all your friends also need to talk about family inclusion of these people.
Yes, ma'am.
Should happen. That is what our one-line mantra.
Yes. Ma'am, we are just grateful for your words and thank you that you took out time and answered a few questions because yeah, we also want to spread social awareness about this because we the young generation can bring the change the years like coming. So we want to get knowledge because the things you tell us like it's today it's our fourth interview, so things that you tell us we are not known to that those facts or those understanding, like we generalize the things that we hear in the society, but your point of view, your personal point of view, your struggle, that's like totally different from what we hear in the general society. So we are very delighted that DORAI Foundation gave us that opportunity to broaden up our
Thank you very
thinking.
much. Please convey my namaste to Sumitra. She's
Yes,
my
ma'am,
best
for
friend. I
sure.
haven't met her for a long time. Such a
Yes.
sweet lady. I always very rare, very few times I have visited her center and all that. Nowadays I
Yes.
don't get time. So please give my 1 minute. What happened? Yeah. Please give my regards to her. Thank
Yes, ma'am.
her for that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, for sure. Ma'am, at last we would like to felicitate with you with a certificate. So Ria, can you just share the screen?
Yes, I'm sharing. Is it visible now?
Oh yeah! Wow, it's beautiful.
Ma'am, can you please smile for a picture? I want to take a screenshot.
Ria has taken it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
this is to
Take
felicitate
care.
you. And yeah, ma'am.
All the best, girls. Please move
Thank you so
forward in
much,
life.
ma'am.
Wish you all success in your endeavors. Okay.
Thank you so much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ma'am, before